Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. Today we're going to be making this really sweet little personalized crafty supply cart. And we're going to be using some really sweet little products from the Maker's Mix collection. We're going to be using this adorable little Lovely Layers Arts and Crafts Supplies die set that you can see here. This is so sweet, and you can create so many fun little gadgets that you can place into your craft cart. So there's all kinds of little objects on there that are so sweet, and I'll show you how I use those in the video today. I'm also going to be using the Lovely Layers Craft Cart die set. Again, just so stinking cute. I just love this. I think it's just really genius what they've done with these different dies. And we're also going to be using the Lovely Layers Paper Crafting Supplies die set, which is this one here. You can make your own die cutting machine, your own paper trimmer, all kinds of different little things. So I've gone ahead off camera and I've done all of the die cutting because watching me do all of this die cutting would be like watching paint dry. So I've got them all die cut out ahead. And now I'm just going to show you how you can assemble these different pieces. So I wanted a tone-on-tone pink cardstock here for my cart. So I went with a darker pink for the base layer, and then the lighter pink for the top layers, and then the little bars and details are the darker pink as well. So you'll just see me here using my liquid adhesive to glue all of these different pieces together. I am going to use my magnet for these larger pieces. I do work on a magnetic glass board, and I'll just take the magnets for the glass board here and put those on top of those pieces. And in that way, they'll just glue together nicely while I go ahead and move on to the other things that I'm going to be gluing together here. So I love the little embossed details on these top pieces as well. So when you die cut out these top layers, the dies make these really cool little embossed designs that just give that extra little fun detail. Now you could definitely die cut these out of white paper and do some ink blending as well. I'm going to show you how I did some ink blending on top of this cardstock a little bit later. So I did the top layer of the wheels in some gray cardstock. You could also do metallic for the wheels or any other metallic piece if you want. Because I'm always photographing my cards, I sometimes try to avoid the metallic cardstock a little bit because it's tougher to photograph it, but definitely the metallic cardstock would be so cute on some of these different areas. Just using my honeybee tweezers to help me get some of these more intricate pieces into place. And you can see that that middle part of the cart has a bar that kind of goes over top of the center area. Now there's another die set here, or another couple of little dies that allow you to make a little container for stamps and dies, and the word stamps and the word dies are actually embossed into the paper when you die cut it. So that blue piece there says either stamps or dies, and then I die cut out the little piece that looks like the little box that these are in out of green cardstock. This is just the sweetest little glue bottle, which the base you can see here is white. Then the little piece here that has the word glue embossed into it will go there for the label. And then the topper for the glue bottle I die cut out of the same dark pink cardstock. So I'm just using my craft pick me up tool, whatever you want to call it, to go ahead and grab the different little pieces and help me put those together. And this little basket, I actually wanted to make it dimensional so that I can actually stuff it with some items. So I've got some foam adhesive on the backer there, so that's going to allow me to stuff my yarn pieces in there or just whatever I want. So this little ball of yarn is an aqua color, and then the paper wrapper on the yarn is green. Then this little ball of yarn is that dark pink again. I tried to repeat the colors of the cardstock throughout the different elements so that I don't have too many different colors going on. I think this is my favorite piece. This little glue gun is so adorable. And so I'll just adhere the top layer of the glue gun onto the base. And then we've got a little stapler there that I'm going to put together, another little ball of yarn, and this little stapler is so cute as well. Some of these pieces are pretty intricate, so it is good to have a little craft tool that you can use to pick the pieces up and place them down into place. And then Sometimes I just have to pick them up with my fingers to maneuver things into the exact right spot. This is a little rotary cutter, which is cool. Some of you might have one of those tools in your space for cutting fabric. This is a really cool little stack. I don't know if that's books or if it's fabric or what that is, but it's really cool. Here's some scissors. We're going to put the handles together there. And I just made sure that I die cut the corresponding handle on the left there in a darker color just to make it look more interesting. And then here we've got the little water spritzer bottle, which is so cute. Oh my gosh, these little tiny pieces are just adorable. And then we've got the little nozzle neck there I cut out of some coordinating cardstock. This is a little spool of thread. So the base is Crafty. And then I cut the thread from some kind of a gold yellow color cardstock. And then we've got a little pink ball of yarn there. It's just a single layer. There's a little gray jar there that I cut from some gray cardstock. And then this is one of the paint palettes that's part of one of the die sets. So cute. And so I'm just going to layer these together. The top layer is white, and then the other two layers are just a really soft, I think, gray or blue. And so I'll layer those together, and then you'll see what I'm going to do here for the faux paint. So I've sped this up quite a bit just because it does take a little bit of time, and I just thought that it would be very boring if it was regular speed. But I just took some of my honeybee pearl stickers, and I have a lot of these in my stash, and I love them. They're gorgeous. And I just took them in rainbow color and added them to the little circles where the paints are in this little paint palette to make this look like paints. And then in that way, it just adds kind of like a little bit of dimension and just some fun. And it was really easy to do. You could also color these little circles in with your pencil crayons, your marker, your Copic markers, whatever. And in that way, you could color those in. But I just used these little pearl stickers. I just thought it looked so cute. And then that's the other little paint palette. This is a little blending brush. I wanted this to look like one of our honeybee brushes. So the base is black and then the bristles are white. So cute. And then, so you could do a bunch of those for sure. I also did some of these other little shorter black blending brushes. Again, black handles, and the bristles will be white on there. The pieces are small, but they're not difficult to work with at all. And especially if you have the right tools, it makes it a little bit easier. So you can just see me picking that up with the wax end of my craft pick tool, pick me up tool, and it just makes it easy. Then you can get it into place. And then if you need to manipulate it from there with your fingers, you can do that. The paint brushes, I die cut with black and with white. And then what I did was I just cut the end of the bristles of the paintbrush off on the white, and I'm gluing them on the black. And then you'll see I'll add some color to those later. But first we'll just get them assembled and glued together, and then I'll show you what I did with them from there. So cute, right? A lot of this is just super intuitive, but I just wanted to show you the colors that I chose and how I assembled this. It's very, very easy to do. Now I chose some Distress ink mini cubes here to put into my my inkstand, and I've just got a bunch of colors there that coordinate with the colors of my cardstocks, and I'm just going to add some dimension with the ink. So the inks I'm using here are Picked Raspberry, Peacock Feathers, Rustic Wilderness, Hickory Smoke, and Wild Honey. And I do have I have Lost Shadow on there too, but I didn't end up using it. So there you can just see how easy it is just to add that little bit of shadow to these different little bits with your smaller blending brushes. And so I'm just going to do that with the jar. And again, here with the yarn, we'll add a little bit of that Rustic Wilderness green. And you know what? In many of these cases, these are going to be stuffed into different areas of the cart, and you won't even see the ink blending. But I just wanted to show you this is an option for doing this with your different die cut pieces. I wanted to add a little bit of color to the brushes to make them look like they have paint on them. I thought that looked really cute, and so you'll just see me adding some blue and some yellow and some pink to those. Now it's time to start to assemble things together into the cart. And so I'm going to fill my little basket with some yarn. and some thread, I believe I put in there as well. And this is so easy to do. You just add your little bit of glue there and get these things stuffed in there. And I'm just going to put that little ball of yarn kind of leaning on the outside there. And then I'll just put some glue on that and glue it to the back of the cart so that it looks like these things are inside of the cart. And the little water bottle is going to go on the bottom shelf there. I'll add the glue to the top shelf. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed putting this together. Anything miniature is adorable, right? Anything realistic but mini is just so cute. I put the glue on the back of the jar and then glued the brushes to the back of the jar in that way so that the front of the brushes are facing out. And then I'll glue that onto the bottom of the cart there so that that's where my little paint jar is. So you can see where the jar just kind of gets hidden by the cart, but it's just kind of cool. And when you're assembling it and you're not really sure where everything is going to go, it's just you get it ready and you put the details on, and if they get covered up, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So this little box is going to go there, and then I'm going to glue the scissors beside it. And this little cart is not exactly the most organized cart that there ever was, and I want to tell you that I have a teal Roskag or Raskog, or however you say that, IKEA cart in my craft space, and it is definitely not very organized. It's kind of a bit of a catch-all. So I really love how the black brushes pop in the cart. I think that looks really neat. And I'm just going to place these little brushes so that they fill in different little random spaces. That stapler is going to go in there beside the water bottle. So cute. And we're going to put the little rotary trimmer down there at the bottom. Now, I used the 3D embossing folder called Embroidered for my card front. And so this is going to be my panel that goes on my card base. And I'm also going to be using this gorgeous sentiment set. This one is called Crafty Friends. It has a ton of sentiments on it, and they are beautiful sentiments for a ton of different occasions. I love this set. It is wonderful. And it has a coordinating die set, which is even more wonderful. So now the sentiment that I've chosen here is crafting is the best medicine. I want to tell you, as I have been recovering from my stem cell transplant in April, it is absolutely 100% true. Crafting is the best medicine. The more I craft, the better I feel. And it is just absolutely 100% the truth. So I'm going to put some foam adhesive onto the back of this Crafty cart. And I am going to get this ready to place onto my card front. So you can see I've got the 3D embossed panel adhered down to my card base, which is just an A2 top folding white card base. And now I'm just going to place a little bit of foam adhesive on the back of the sentiment and add it onto the top of my cart. And I think that's the perfect spot for it. Now I wanted to just add my two little paint palettes on as well. So I'm going to add one kind of leaning against the cart, which is so typical of my craft room. Like, you never know where you're going to find stuff. Now I'm going to add this other little palette here in behind the cart at the top. And once I'm done with that, I'm just kind of looking at it and thinking what else I can add to make this even more interesting. And so I decided that I'm going to add some Stamperia contour. What that is it's a product like your Nuvo drops or something like that, where you're just going to add kind of almost like a little enamel dot, but in a liquid form. And this is really easy to apply. This is the white contour, and I'm just adding 3 little dot details to that area, which would be like the little box containing the stamps or dies. And I'm going to add a few little, another dot in black. I'm going to add a dot to the glue gun, and then I'm going to add a dot to the gold dot to the rotary trimmer. Friends, that's going to finish up my card today. I have linked up in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used for my card today. Make sure you check out those links in the Honeybee shop. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel and also give this video a thumbs up. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.